Jadyn Davis speaks. Michigan's top 2024 quarterback target did some media over the last 24 hours or so. We're going to tell you what he said about Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, and where his recruitment stands. Plus, Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media for the first time since the loss to TCU. We'll tell you what he had to say about the 2023 Michigan football team, J.J. McCarthy, his NFL, talking and what he did with that earlier this year. And about midway through today's video, folks, I am fuming, and you're going to want to find out why. It's the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports coming up right now. We have got a Jadyn Davis update for you. I know it's a big topic. A lot of Michigan football fans are stressed now. I think I am too, because Michigan hasn't had a big-time quarterback commit in the last two recruiting classes, and Jadyn Davis seems like he's been a Michigan lean for about 6 months, but has not decided to commit, at least publicly, to the Wolverines. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But Jim Harbaugh started talking to the media, something he hasn't done in nearly 2 months. Did a press conference today. And as we got ready to film today's show, folks, this popped up on my Twitter timeline. Ann Arbor Police, at A2 Police, says, on 2/22, so yesterday, at approximately 8 p.m. in the middle of an ice storm, Officer Howard Cooper was at the intersection, yada, 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 trying to remove a tree that was blocking the road when a van pulled up. The driver then parked and got out of the vehicle. They continue. To the officer's surprise of Officer Cooper, the Good Samaritan was none other than Jim Harbaugh, who wanted to help clear the road. Officer Cooper gave Coach a pair of work gloves, and the two of them went to work. They continue about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, they were able to inch by inch get the entire tree removed, moved to a clear lane for traffic to pass through. We thank Coach Harbaugh for being a valued member of the Ann Arbor community, hopefully for a long time, and helping out Officer Cooper. Folks, Jim Harbaugh, Good Samaritan. Give me your one-word reaction to Michigan's football coach. What a guy. I mean, he's sending me thank you letters and wishing me a great year for my Christmas card. It doesn't have to do stuff like that. And he is pulling over to the side of the road, helping Ann Arbor police officers clear the road, chopping up some trees in the middle of a winter storm. So give me a one-word reaction. I'm saying awesome. And just big shout out to Jim Harbaugh. Good for him. All right, Michigan released their spring practice roster, with spring practice getting underway 3 days ago. Released the roster, and there's some interesting things. Amarian Walker listed as a wide receiver now. A couple guys listed as linebacker, running back. You've got a couple of defensive linemen, offensive linemen. So guys will be playing on both sides of the ball, kind of figuring out where they fit in this spring and into the fall. But the biggest omission I saw, no Ladarius Henderson. So he is slated to be Michigan's starting left tackle as long as he performs like he has in 3 years starting at Arizona State. Why isn't he part of this roster? Is it because he's not choosing Michigan anymore? Nothing like that. Turns out he actually wants to graduate from Arizona State, was only a semester away. So he's still into ASU, finishing out his degree. Will graduate in early May and then move to Ann Arbor throughout mid-month of May in order to enroll in summer classes, be part of summer workouts in the month of June. So don't expect to hear anything about Ladarius Henderson, but if he performs well this summer and into fall camp, I expect him to be Michigan's starting left tackle this fall. Guys, we are coming up on 26,000 subscribers, and I'll tell you what, subscribers are hard to come by in the offseason because only the diehard of Michigan football fans, almost all of them, already subscribe to the channel. So if you know a friend that is not subscribed yet, please send them that link. It's youtube.com/MichiganTV. Tell them to be a part of the Michigan Football Report community. Jim Harbaugh hosted a press conference. Michigan's football coach really has gone dark for the second year in a row. Michigan loses on New Year's Eve. Georgia in 2021, TCU this year, and then we have to hear about NFL rumors the next 2, 3, 4 weeks with Jim Harbaugh with the Vikings a year ago, and then with the Denver Broncos. He said a lot of things. He talked about the NFL rumors. The media asked him directly. He talked J.J. McCarthy. He even talked Michigan's defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, and what's going on with the Eagles job. We're going to kind of tell you about all of that stuff in a moment, but folks, I am fuming. That's because today's sponsor, Fume. This thing is awesome, folks. Michigan Football Report is sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we certainly know how hard they can be to kick those bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural, diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I'll tell you what, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I got it, but that minty sensation is really powerful, and it really hits the back of the throat. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors that you see on screen that I'm holding right here in my hands. The one I'm on right now, folks, white cranberry. Tastes very well. Fume is not a vape. It is a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Head to tryfume.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports. Link is down in the comment and the description of today's video. Use promo code CHATSPORTS to get 10% off your order today. You can be looking good like me. I've been loving this thing from Fume. I'm not a smoker by any means. Fume is the real deal. Here is Jim Harbaugh's quote on his future with Michigan. I'll give the local blog boy media some credit. Usually they shy away from ever asking anyone any tough questions, but they at least asked and addressed the Jim Harbaugh NFL rumors. And to paraphrase kind of a bunch of comments he said, "I'm here as long as Michigan wants me here. You would have a story if I wasn't here, but I'm here. This is where I wanted to be." Sounds good, feels good. But it's literally the same thing he said last year when he texted Adam Schefter and said, "Hey, I just talked to Ward Manuel. I asked him if he wanted me to be the Michigan football coach." And he said he did. I told him I will be here for as long as they'll have me. Well, a year later, Coach, you're talking to the Denver Broncos. You're reaching out to the Carolina Panthers. So I thought that Jim Harbaugh has kind of in some level, I think he's had a little bit of an honesty issue, but we'll see what happens. If he is looking for a job with this NFL Rumors next year, I'm going to throw my hands up and just be done. I'm not even going to cover the situation. Probably will because it has a lot of audience. But nevertheless, Jim Harbaugh did address it. Said he's going to be his Michigan forever, yada, yada, yada. He talked a bunch about the NFL and them coming for players, leaving early, coaches, administrators, himself. He also talked Jesse Minter. So he said, "I've lost count of how many coaches have gone to the NFL from here. Some staff members, so some non-field position coaching people, administrators, and such. Same. Right now, defensive coordinator Jesse Minter is considering that. We just don't hold them back." And some interesting, developments from Tuesday when we first told you about this story is that Jim Leonhard, who has been the defensive coordinator at Wisconsin for years, was their interim head coach for the second half of the 2022 season, no longer under consideration to be the Eagles' DC. So, I don't know. I would guess Minter is probably in the top 2 or 3 candidates at this point, and I'm sure they're going to bring him in for a second round of interviews if he is indeed interested in this job as well. So, we have more now from this Jim Harbaugh press conference. He talked to J.J. McCarthy, and in just a moment we'll tell you more about Jadyn Davis and his future with his recruitment and potentially at Michigan. But here's what Jim Harbaugh had said about Michigan's current quarterback. Some really nice praise for him. He says, "I would follow him anywhere happily. I suggest that all players at our team do the same thing. He's just really, really good. As anything you tell him, any coaching point that you give, he just absorbs it, and he'll make the correction immediately. It's tremendous." Great, praise from Jim Harbaugh. I think when you have a quarterback that leads you to a 13-0 regular season, beat Ohio State by over 3 scores, putting up 3 touchdowns through the air and another one on the ground, you're going to have a lot of praise for your starting quarterback. And my hope right now is that J.J. McCarthy is committed to 2 more seasons at Michigan because I would love to see him play 3 full years as starter. I think he'd be unquestioned the best quarterback in the history of Michigan football if he were able to do that. But it got me thinking. J.J. McCarthy came in as a starter first year, didn't start the first game, but led this team to a Big Ten championship, beat Ohio State on the road for the first time in over 20 years. Took Michigan to another Big Ten championship and won it and the College Football Playoff. How does that compare to Jim Harbaugh's first year as a starting quarterback? So Harbaugh was at Michigan 82 as a redshirt 83 as a backup, was a starter in 84 but got hurt early on. Really the only non-winning season that Bo Schembechler had in 21 years was that 84 season. Jim Harbaugh got hurt early on. Michigan ended up going 6-6 that year. Harbaugh came back with a fury, 85, 86. In the 85 season, his first year as a starter, Michigan Big Ten champions, 10-1-1. Their only loss was to number 1 Iowa. J.J. McCarthy, 13-1, led Michigan to a Big Ten championship as well. Those are the stat comparisons. You see Michigan throws quite a bit more in the current day than they did back then. 2,700 yards to 1976, 22 touchdowns. But all in, fairly similar statistics to the two quarterbacks. Jim Harbaugh said, J.J. McCarthy reminds me a lot of Jim Harbaugh, of himself, but he is better. But I want to ask you guys, who was the better debut? What was a better season debut as a starter between those two players? Jim Harbaugh back in the mid-'80s, 1985, his fourth year at Michigan, but his first full year as starter, or J.J. McCarthy as a sophomore in 2022. Give me a JJ or a JH down in the comments. Let me know. And also, guys, I'm not going to plug this as a sponsor or anything like that, but if you want the Don shirt, I'm going to put the link down in the comments and description as well. chatsports.com/Don7. $29.07 are these bad boys. Now on to Jadyn Davis. Jadyn Davis spoke to Scout.com's Samuel Webb. Not sure who that is, but someone sent me some excerpts of the interview, so I checked it out myself. So let's take a look at some of the better quotes that Jadyn Davis had with Samuel Webb, whoever the hell that is. I'm trying to get it over with, talking about his recruitment. I've been letting God take this over. As soon as I know it's going to be a done deal, it's not a situation where I'm trying to drag it out and commit on sign day or drag it out and flip to a school. Continues, once I know what school I'm going to, it's going to be announced. All right, sounds good. Now I can tell you this for a fact. Ohio State has targeted Davis as their number one commit. And you might be saying, well, Michigan's beat Ohio State for this last couple seasons. Ohio State hasn't beat Michigan since 2009. Davis was like in 8th grade that year. Why would he even consider them? Well, you got to look at Ohio State's quarterback development and wide receiver recruiting as well. I think that if Jadyn Davis kind of, as all things being equal, he's going to choose Ohio State. If he goes with his original gut feeling, who's been recruiting the hardest and the longest, I think he's going to have a Michigan. But I don't really know where things will shake out. But I do know that a bunch of recruits do watch the show. So if Jadyn Davis, don't know for a fact if he watched this, but I'm pretty sure that he probably does, and people around him do. Let's show him some love. Give the video a like if you want Jadyn Davis to come to Michigan. I certainly do. But we'll see how it plays out. You guys show some love. Give this video a like. Also helps out with the video. Puts this video in more the feeds on YouTube of more Michigan football fans. So we have a little bit of an agenda with that as well. So show Jadyn Davis some love. Give us some help by helping us put this video in front of more Michigan football fans. Another quote from Jadyn Davis. He was asked by Samuel Webb if he had a leader at this point in his recruitment, February 23rd of his junior year in high school. He says, yeah, there is one, meaning a leader. I'll keep that close, but I'm still open until I announce everybody has a shot. I would guess that that leader is still Michigan in his mind. But think about decisions you've had in life. If you know, you know. And if there's doubt, usually you're finding reasons, you're looking for something. If you got a girlfriend, you're like, she's not the one, I really like what's going on, but I don't know if I want to engage. You'll keep looking until you find a girl you like better. You'll dump her, you go for that girl if it works out for you that way. So that's the kind of read I have on Davis. He might end up committing to Michigan, but I do think he's looking for something else. I think he's kind of been jaded about, Michigan not having the best passing offense compared to other schools. I think he's also a little bit probably concerned with Jim Harbaugh. Is he going to be his coach in 2024, 25, 26, 27, 28 if he were to stay 5 years at Michigan, which I doubt that he would, but I would guess that it is. So I'm taking a we'll see. If he commits, great, but I am kind of expecting to be hurt here. So, we're going to continue to report on it. Anytime there is something to talk about with Jadyn Davis, we'll continue to until he decides to commit, whether it's to Michigan or somewhere else. Guys, we're not doing a bunch of live shows anymore. We'll probably start up in 2 weeks from now for some spring football live shows. But I've had a bunch of you guys say, James, I want to get my hat and my name on one of the hard hats. I want to contribute to the show. Super Thanks is a way you can do that, even if you aren't joining a live show and doing what we normally call Super Chat. So YouTube is Super Thanks. You can donate, like I said, outside of live videos. You got to click that little thanks icon right below the video. Jack and I appreciate your support, and anyone who's Super Thanks, whether it's $1 or more, you will get a shout out on the next show we do after a Super Chat. And any $10, we're going to put you on a hard helmet or a hard hat. I have started a 6th hard hat. We're going to give one of those away. We're going to get about 20, 25 stickers to put on there. So $10 gets you on a next hard hat. So if you want to contribute to the show, anybody who is trying to help out and make this show hum all off season, go ahead and give us the super thanks. We certainly would appreciate it. Guys, we'll be back with more Michigan football news and rumors. I'll have a video for you either Friday or Saturday. Hell, maybe even one on Sunday. Until I see you then, go Blue.